What's up, everybody? Welcome back, man, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. Myself, SimFBallCritic, along with Smitty and AzureEffect. Depending on his schedule, he may join us as well. But either way, we're still the threesome guys that you guys are familiar with. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Hey, we don't have a whole lot to kick around here in the beginning. My team's not playing. Smitty's team's not playing. Whatever. Super Bowl is coming. I guess what me and Smitty can do real quick here as we allow some more of you guys to get in here is maybe we can give out quick, maybe give out quick Super Bowl thoughts as far as who we think, may take it. We'll do that. And then we'll jump right into the topic. So let me let you guys know what the topics are. And then, of course, we'll read the topics again once we're ready to begin with those. But what we're going to talk about tonight, man, I mean, you kind of see it there in the title. We want to talk about the rumor in regards to Microsoft and EA. I mean, the rumor out there, I don't know if it's been dispelled yet. I don't know. But the rumor earlier this week was that, Microsoft may be purchasing EA. So me and Smitty will give our thoughts on that. If it happens, what that could mean for multi-plat titles, like your Maddens, your UFCs, your NBA Lives, NHL, FIFA, et cetera, et cetera. We also want to talk a little bit about the investors call. I don't know if Smitty has had a chance to listen to the last one. I just listened to it yesterday. I believe it dropped on the 30th. But, just give our quick thoughts on that. Basically what I'm going to do is give you guys my overall takeaway from it, the theme of that call, and kind of what the investors were talking about in this particular quarter. And I'll dive a little bit as far as to how the things that Rex talked about earlier, in his own stream, as well as before that in the Muttman stream, how it kind of goes along with what I clearly took from that call. And then the next thing we'll talk about, man, is ESPN signing an exclusive multi-year deal with EA to broadcast Madden's competitive Madden. We'll basically talk about how we feel about that and what that could mean for future titles. You guys were still looking for another NFL video game. We'll give our thoughts on how, how this could shake those things up. So there you have it, guys. So real quick, Smitty, I guess I'll kick it off first, man. We'll give our quick, what we think the Super Bowl will be. It's like this, man. I got to root for the underdog. I got to. It's not that I have any hate for the Patriots. I mean, of course, as a football fan, we, a lot of us will say, oh, we hate the Patriots. But, you admire their greatness. You can't take anything away from Brady or Belichick, whether we all believe that they cheat or not. I believe every team does some form of, getting an edge. It's just unfortunate that we've seen the Patriots things play out in the public. So we're all right. And, you can't judge any of us for having that opinion. But at the end of the day, can we not say that Tom Brady is a great quarterback? We can't say that. Can we not say that Bill Belichick is not a great coach? We can't say that. Have they had to aid sometimes with calls and lack thereof? Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to let all of that get in the way of my thoughts. But I got to root for the underdog, man. I think Philly has a chance. I'm going to tell you like this. If it was Carson Wentz and no Nick Foles, there's no doubt in my mind I think that the Eagles will win the game. Now, I don't want to beat up Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles has done enough. He's been a serviceable backup to come in there and, win some games, won a big one. He picked apart Minnesota's defense, which was the best defense in the league. But I don't know, man. We all know how the New England Patriots work. They're going to take away whatever your biggest threat is. And we're going to have to see, man. But I will say this. I think the Eagles have a great chance of winning the game if their defense can step up like they have been. And if they're able to get pressure, consistent pressure with their front four, with Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and guys like that, allowing them to eat and get Brady off his spot and they don't have to blitz, they have a great chance to win. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. However, I'm not naive to the fact that, I mean, the New England Patriots may get it done. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going, against the grain. I'm going to say the Eagles will get it done, man. It'll be a shocker, an upset for the Patriots. And I think the Eagles could get it done, reverse that prediction that Madden put out there. They had it 24-20. I could actually see that possibly being that way in the favor of the Eagles. Maybe a 3-point contest, maybe 24-21, something like that. So That's my pick. What you got on this, Smitty, man? Who you think gonna take that thing?
I think that I would like the Eagles to get it because, I mean, that's the underdog team that's involved. So that's who I'm going to go with. But, I mean, if we look at it real, look, I mean, look, the whatchamacallits, the Patriots are that squad no matter what. Tom Brady's a bad man. Hey, they you know, it's hard to root against that. Just be like, oh, this thing's gonna come on to the biggest stage like this and step it up and make it happen. But at the same time, you never know. You never know. They may come up. They could come up big. You know, like it's not always necessarily about, you know, oh man, all the lights are on and you're on the biggest stage, whereas this other team already been there. Because just like I could take my Pistons in 2004. None of those guys been to the finals. Yet we ran LA out the gym. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And them boys won multiple chips. Shaq and Kobe, that was a dynasty. They were used to going to the finals, and we ran them out the gym. So it's like, if you're poised and you ready, like, you know, you've endured and you battled as a team, you could go in there and make it happen. So it could very much be, you know, one team gets out executed over another. One team lets the gas, you know, let their foot off the pedal in comparison to another. That's how it was with the whatchamacallits, last year with the Falcons. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They let their foot off the gas. And that's the thing. Like when the Pistons played against LA, they ain't let their foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying? Like we pressed them the whole time. We pressed them to the point where the coach was still like, all right, I still got to coach because I think they still got a chance to come back. And the players dictated it. They was like, man, we got this thing, man. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And the score showed it. It was over. It's like, it's done. Like by the time, if we let our foot off the gas and these dudes caught up, man, just off us being on cruise control alone, we'd have these dudes beat. That's where you got to be at with your squad. That's got to be your vibe, especially if you up. It's like, man, we could cruise on these cats. They could put their best effort in there. We got this. That's how it's got to be. So we'll see how things happen. If Philly is going to come out and honestly dominate, but I don't think I just don't think, you know, it's going to be just this overly dominating performance like that. But I believe that Philly will come out victorious, but it'll be a tighter contested game.
Uh-huh.
But they'll win. But I believe they'll win. I want them to win because I want to see somebody different. Even though, yes, Tom Brady's from U of M and all that, and yeah, he did his thing, but it's like I would love to see the narrative be a little bit different, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, wow. Shout out to Antoine again. $50. You know what I'm saying?
This guy is unbelievable.
$50 on the drop, bro. Wow. That's what's up, man. Appreciate the contribution, bro.
I have no words for it. I don't. And he donated Tuesday. Yeah, doing Terrible Towel Tuesday.
So, oh man, see, there we go. Hey, yo, that's what's up. Hey, when I stream, you know, since you feeling so charitable, you know what I mean, like real talk. Hook it up for a brother here and there. No, man, but that's all appreciated, man. That's awesome, though. But yeah, real talk. That's the thing, though. It always comes out to the defense, and that's true. Defense is going to be huge on both sides of the ball, but I think that's what I'm saying. If the Eagles show up with their defense, that's been their steeple is their defense. So if they truly do come through with their defense, they can win the game. They can pretty much win the game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So. But I'm going with the Eagles, though. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, man. I think if you really think about it, man, just from a football perspective, the same blueprint is still out there, for the Patriots. The same blueprint that the Falcons follow, the Eagles can follow it. You look at the teams who gave them a little bit of a run this year. Teams with a dominating or high-powered offense. I mean, again, even if we want to talk about Pittsburgh, we didn't have the defense to keep up, obviously. But you look at Carolina, and they made it a physical game with them, was able to edge them out. You look at what the Falcons did. The Falcons they didn't even have the best defense, but they went man to man on Brady. And, they was able to shake some things up, ran the football, and that's how they dominated that game. And then for whatever reason, take your foot off the gas, forget what got you there, stop running the ball in the second half, and Brady comes back. You can't keep giving the man chances. But I think Philly can copy that. Philly has a squad. They have enough defense where they should be able to run man or some combination coverage, or even when they end zone, you only rushing 4. And then a rushing only 4, you can play some, man over the top, zone underneath. They could do a lot of things, bracket, Grunk, things like that can get the Patriots in a little bit of trouble. They can run the football with Blunt, who, going against the team where he got his ring. With Ajayi, who this dude cried. Like, that's how passionate he was and how much he wanted to get there. With the other kid, I can't remember his name, but they have a 3-headed monster. I was about to say Carson Wentz, but Nick Foles seems like he's not afraid to sling it out there, throw it all around the yard. The Patriots, guys, even if you're a Patriots fan, you got to admit this. The defense haven't looked stellar this year. They can be scored on. This is why I think the Eagles have a chance to win that game. But it would not surprise me if Tom Terrific does it again. But I just would like to see the Eagles get it as well, man, since this is basically a rematch from the time that, when T.O. was there. It has sucked to get to the Super Bowl, twice, in the last, I guess you would say 15, 20 years, and lose to the same team twice. That would suck. So I'm rooting for the Eagles, man, and we'll see what happens from there. All right. Now, let's move on to these top. Wait a minute. Time out. Did Antoine just drop another 50? Yo, man. Dude, listen.
Whoa. Wow.
I don't know what to say. And y'all know me. I don't know what to say. I mean, thank you. I feel like it's not enough. You already know,
man,
dude. And I promise you guys, even when I stream, I promise you guys, you will start to see, as things grow, you will definitely start seeing your contributions and translate into YouTube and with things that I'm going to bring to YouTube and more equipment and different programs, et cetera, et cetera. I will make sure that anybody who donates, I can't guarantee how soon, but you would definitely see that I'm giving back in that regard. If you feel like that myself, when I solo stream, or of course here tonight when it's Smitty and I, giving you guys the Sim Standard podcast, if you feel like that's entertaining you, I'm going to make sure we do everything we can to enhance the situation, whatever that might be. I got a lot of plans, but I just got to weigh some things out, man. So listen, thank you again, man. Words can't explain it. I don't even know what else to say. Oh, and let's not forget, guys, he donated Tuesday. So he spent more than $100 this week. So thank you, man. That's all I can say. So Smitty, man, let's move on to these topics. Now, I don't even know where to start. How about let's start with the Microsoft stuff. I'll throw it to you first, Smitty. This rumor comes out, and y'all know me. Whenever there's smoke, there's a possible fire. And I say possible because, the cliche is, oh, whenever there's smoke, there's fire. Not always. Sometimes you see smoke after fire has been put out. So you still got to be a little cautiously, optimistic, if you will, or whatever the case may be. If you're happy or sad about a situation, doesn't always mean that just because you hear rumblings that something is happening. However, quite often, especially in the gaming world and entertainment world, when you hear rumors from time to time, sometimes those things are actually happening. So let's take it from this standpoint, Smitty. Let's not focus on whether or not it's true. I guess let's focus on the standpoint of if it's true. What does this mean? Is this a good move? And what does it mean for multi-plat games? And what was your initial reaction when you heard that could be a possibility?
Well, I mean, I haven't read up on it at all, so that really lets you know what I thought about it. I look at it as more of like, like it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? In regards to that happening, like if it's true or not, I don't think that's realistically going to happen. But I mean, if they do it, I don't know what that. I mean, will that just make it more exclusive? Like, will they just be more exclusive with titles coming out, just for on Microsoft platform only, or even from that standpoint? Could we see Madden make its way to PC, or all their games really, make more of a push towards the PC platform at that point? That would be something interesting to see, if that's the case. But, that's why I'm kind of like, I really can't think of something, like drastic in regards to that rumor or whatever, like what that would mean. Because like I said, I'd have to look at the article, but I mean, I've seen people mention it on Twitter, but I really don't see a huge deal about it, because the funny thing is that all in all, I mean, I think that would be a move out of big time desperation for Microsoft in the standpoint that look, people aren't buying Xbox Ones like that. I mean, I seen it on Facebook. Somebody posted one of the game groups I'm in, and they show the sales. Xbox is like, I think they're just beating out Nintendo Switch, and it's like Xbox is down here, PlayStation is like way up here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if it's that big of a disparity, I can see why they're trying to make a move and they're trying to do something, but people don't really care about it like that. So it's like, oh, okay, well, making that move though doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna all of a sudden, the games and the quality of the games are gonna jump up. They'll have a visual appeal to it, but the functionality of it all still matters. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So, and you also got to remember that the nicest looking games that we see on Xbox are their exclusives. You look at Forza and it's like, yo, look at how beautiful Forza looks, and it's like, yeah, but Madden is not developed like Forza. They spend years building Forza games. You don't have years to make a Madden or NBA Live or FIFA or PES or any of these games that we typically are playing and looking forward to on a yearly basis. So it's not the same thing. So I can't, I'm not really with that. I don't really think it's going to be a big deal, whatever it is that they're trying to do. So it's like, to me, it's small. It's a small potatoes kind of deal. So, yeah, like I don't really have anything else to say other than that, really.
Yeah, man. And shouts out to who was it that just said it? I think it was Vaughn Harris Jr. He says that some of us don't know what the rumor is. So what I will do real quick, guys, is I'll read a little bit of the article here, and it's according to Polygon. And they're claiming that it's been cited by a very reliable source, excuse me, close to Microsoft. Now, before I read it, let me just take y'all down memory lane. Y'all remember that time when I told y'all I had a really, really reliable source that said it may have been a possibility of 2K returning back to EA? I mean, to EA. What is it, E3? Y'all remember that? It's a couple years ago. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, that was a super reliable source. Trust me. And the point of me saying this is that doesn't always mean that things are actually going to happen. Because, I mean, I could say more about that situation, but I'm not. But believe me, that was the talk. And I guess nothing just transpired in that regard on 2K's end. That's as far as I'm going to go on that, because I don't, a lot of this stuff was told to me in confidence. So I'm not going to share all of the conversation, but take it for what you will. They said it's a reliable source, and I'll just read a little bit of it here. It says, some of the names being thrown around as the possible acquisitions by Microsoft are frankly astounding, even unthinkable. But the fact that they are doing the rounds is instructive. The most recent one they heard from the reliable sources that Microsoft is, again, in the business of talking to Electronic Arts. They're hearing whispers of Valve and about the Korean outfit PUBG Corporation, which Microsoft last year signed to a time exclusive for its survival shooter. So basically what they're saying here, man, is that apparently Microsoft is in the business of purchasing some things. And the latest name and the biggest name, obviously, would be EA Electronic Arts, not just EA Sports. It would be the company. So let me give you my thoughts. My initial thoughts, Smitty, is at first when I heard it, I was like, that's crazy. But then, like anything, I don't just take things at face value. I try to dissect it, and I look at the pros and cons. So I asked myself, why would Microsoft do that? I think Smitty hit it right on the head. Desperate, because once again, Sony is outselling Microsoft. Like Smitty said, I don't believe the X sold very well. And price point. I think price point made that a hard sell, because what actually happened at the same time, Sony had a little bit of a cut on the PS4 Pro, as well as some of Microsoft's other units. So that's automatically going to make some people be like, what's the big draw? 4K? Got to think, man, the average gamer don't care about that. Now, some people who are really, 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 invested in graphics, the average gamer don't really care about that. They think every TV looks good just the way it is now, every console. So that's a hard sell, number one. It's similar, guys. This is a little off topic, but kind of the same thing. Similar to what's going on with Apple right now. There's a rumor out there, and a lot of times the Apple rumors tend to be true, that the iPhone X or the 10, whatever they want to call it, is not doing that well at all. And I said this from jump. I could tell my wife to come down here right now and she'll say, yeah, he did say that. I said this from the jump when it came out. Why are you releasing 3 phones within a 2-month span? You got the 8, the 8 Plus, and then the 10. Stupid. Because the things that phone brings to the table is not enough for the average person to pay $1,000 for. They're going to be like, no, I'll just get the 8. And it's not selling. So anyway, getting back to Microsoft, why would they do it? Competition to try to catch Sony. And then I looked at it from this standpoint. How would that affect games like Madden and FIFA? And so it made me think, there's a lot of players, guys, that would have to be involved in this situation. Because are we to believe that the NFL, who was once pissed off at 2K for cutting the price of their game back in 2K5 and decided that they want to go exclusive with EA? For you guys that don't know the real story, everybody blames EA, but that was the NFL saying, no, y'all ain't doing that again. Are they going to be willing to allow their product to be sold on one console when the numbers are great right now? However, Microsoft is the partner with EA Sports. Microsoft is the official console for the NFL. It's not far-fetched to believe something like that could happen. I mean, Smitty remembers this. It used to be a time we used to go down. You know what, Smitty? Think about that. It used to be a time when the PS4 came out, we go down there and everybody was all PS4. You see PS4s all in the office, right? And ironically, one of the executives, Smitty remembers this, one of the executives at EA was the reason I bought a PS4. Y'all remember I was the one that was like, nah, I'm gonna stick with Xbox. Xbox 360 guy. Smitty was telling me to get a PS4. AZ, people down at EA executive. So I jumped ship and I'm happy. But all of a sudden now, the last couple years, you start going there, it ain't nothing but Xboxes. The test kits, Xboxes. We don't even see PS4. The PS4s are in the studio room where we be. They ain't even on.
Yeah.
Like, so when you look at it from that standpoint, who knows, man? Money talks. If there's enough money out there, you know, maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying, I can see why it could happen, and maybe Madden would be willing to stick that neck out there and go exclusive, which I wouldn't recommend that. But there's linking, you know, there's connections there with Madden. But if we look at these other games, can we say the same about FIFA? You know, how much of your fan base would you be cutting if you went exclusive to one? Now, that's the question too, Smitty. Does it mean that these games would be exclusive titles to only the Xbox? We don't know that. Right. I saw a lot of people out there speculating, saying, "Oh, that's just going to make." Well, we don't know if that means that those big titles are going to be exclusive. It just basically means that Microsoft, the way I took it, as Microsoft would own a gaming division, which would be EA. That's how I took it. So I would say it's a good move for Microsoft if, in fact, it would be business as usual with their games. You know, if you keep everything same as it is, it's just now Microsoft is ahead of EA. We own them now, but that's our division. And most of the games that are out there now will be multi-plats, and some of them will be, you'll still have your exclusives that Microsoft would make.
Just to inject, I just want to interject this real quick. I'll just look on VG charts, which, you know, doesn't have the total sales, but just looking at it, FIFA sold on Xbox One 2.16 million. On PS4, 8.62. So I don't know.
8.6 on the PlayStation?
On the PlayStation. Yeah. Let's see. So I don't know about see it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you look at the whole, and it's like, where's all the bread at? And the other thing too, they had their FIFA tournament. Was that on the 4 or was that on the 1? I'm not sure. Because they had their FIFA tournament this past week. And I gotta look at the recap.
Yeah,
I gotta see. I'll check real quick. But if they did, that tells it there as far as that's concerned. Because I mean, it wouldn't make sense to say let's throw this tournament on Xbox when everybody's on 4. You know, I mean, you got to have champions on both consoles. But I'm saying though, like, I don't know.
Well, however, though, and I was just ready to go there too, and I see people in the chat saying that y'all right. With FIFA and Madden alone, they would get enough people to jump ship and start buying Xboxes. Because, again, talking to us sim heads, we the only ones that complain about Madden. Let's just get that clear. We are the only ones that complain, and we are a small pocket of that millions of copies that Madden has sold. We are a small fraction of that. You know, the bigger piece are the ones who are watching and playing and participating in the Madden tournaments. That's the biggest portion of the Madden community. Even though we're important, trust me, there are people that can't go without playing Madden. They would get another console in a heartbeat if that meant, yeah, I'm sorry, I just got to go to Xbox. So it might not be as big a hit, but I think what Smitty is pointing out, and you have to recognize this as well, you ain't going to get all 8 million of them people. I wouldn't think, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's a tough one. And also, I mean, would Microsoft be able to support all of that? You know, it's console, you know, production-wise and servers and all that kind of jazz. But it would be the fastest way, Smitty, for them to catch up. I mean, that could really hurt Sony. I mean, you think if you take, look, you just said it, take FIFA PlayStation. Wow. That's 8 point some odd million people. That's a sale that, you know what I mean? Like, these are the folks that are on your console, and obviously FIFA is a popular game for them. So that could be very interesting, man.
Yeah, they were playing the tournament. They were playing on the one.
See?
So but you got all them sales though.
Yeah.
On the station. That's the thing. See, that's what I'm kind of curious about, because it may be something where they alternate. Sometimes they play on the station, sometimes they play on the one, and it's just a certain point they say, okay, we're gonna shift it to the one. I don't know, but I'm just saying though, when people are playing and they're on these leaderboards and all that stuff, think about that too. You got dudes on station and all that are doing their thing, but then they ultimately got to play on the one. You know what I'm saying? They just get the top players that say, okay, well, we're playing on this. So I don't know.
It's possible.
I was like, that may be the possibility, yeah.
Like, it's possible enough for me to not immediately dismiss it. Mm-hmm. You know, I could clearly see it not happening, but at the same time, if it were to happen, I mean, think about it, guys. For any of you guys who have been involved with any type of business, you know, I've been fortunate to be involved in businesses and things like that. These decisions don't happen overnight. There's a such thing as plan. You know, like they may know certain things are in the works, so we're talking this up for 3-4 years before it actually happens. And if you want to read into the conspiracy, if you look at the timeline, when all of a sudden Madden is pushing Xbox. I'm just saying, if it were to happen like that, they basically was feeding it to us slowly but surely. Now, if it doesn't happen, then hey, you know, again, like I said, you can always develop a conspiracy theory out of anything, whether it's true or false. But if it does turn out that Microsoft purchases EA, we could look back and say, yeah, the writing was on the wall. We saw it coming. So interesting, man. I mean, listen, it's going to cost Microsoft a buku amount of money. I mean, we're going to talk about it here a little later, and we might slide into that topic here next. You just listen to the investors call, man. Listen to these type of numbers that they're putting up. EA as a whole, these billions of dollars. So if Microsoft is willing to pay out whatever it's going to cost, believe me, there's a plan. There's some type of, you know, strategy behind it, and they've analyzed things. And I would say if it happens, it's going to be a huge, huge move for Microsoft, and they must know something that they'd be willing to, you know, stick their neck out like that. But wouldn't bother me at all, man. And here's the question for you guys in the chat. How many of you guys would make the switch? Even you guys that hate Madden. How many of y'all would actually make the switch? Because I promise you, the game is going to get better. I'm going to just go ahead and put that out there. You know, you hear me and Smitty sit here and pick on Madden every single week. You see us both put out videos, but I could promise you, it's going to get better. I mean, we can't give you a timeline, but I promise you, the game will get there. You know, it's little stuff. Again, guys, I don't know officially, but just some of the little stuff that I feel like is going to happen in Madden 19 just based off a prior conversation. It's going to be a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we're going to start, not even think, I know we're going to start to see the trend upward again since 18 is done with and they've gotten transitioned over. But like I said, how many of you guys would make that switch if you're not already on the Xbox? And be honest about it. Not just Madden, all of the titles, because I know a lot of you guys out here play FIFA. So if it became exclusive, where EA Sports titles are only on Xbox, how many of you guys out there making a switch? Be for real.
Right.
So I don't know if we have really much more to say about that topic, Smitty. I'm trying to think, man, if there's anything else I wanted to hit on that. I'm not sure if all of the leagues will get on board with the exclusive. That's just my opinion. Maybe NBA Live. Only reason why I say that is because live is a long way from catching. It's a long way from catching 2K in terms of popularity, sales, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see, I could see them swallowing that and just being like, all right, we'll make that an exclusive title because it's bang or bust anyway. But something like Madden and FIFA, again, going back to the NFL, I mean, there is a relationship there. I'm just saying, I don't know if you would be so quick to agree to that, to only be locked into one console. I think you're taking a risk of losing a lot of money there because everybody's not going to switch. And of course, like somebody said in the chat, even if you get 5 million out of the 8 sales, then that's good. But I don't know. I just think as a business, I don't think I would do that. If it was me, if I'm in NFL and my game is, is beloved by a lot of people and we got these tournaments and stuff, I wouldn't shake up anything. So even if a company bought out EA, we gonna operate business as usual. Because you got to think, guys, we're not just talking about sports. If they purchase EA, we talking Battlefield. All of these games that EA either develop or publish. So you talking like the potential of all of those being, exclusives. I don't know. I don't see that happening. It could. I just don't. My gut feeling tells me that ain't gonna happen. But we'll have to wait and see, man, as far as, the merger or the buyout, I guess you would say. So I guess that's all I got on this, Smitty. You got anything else on it?
No.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next topic, man. The investors call, man. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to listen to it. It's very easy to find. Just Google it, EA investors call. EA has a site. If I can find it again here, maybe I'll put the link in the description. It's a UR something site where you can find all of their webcasts and stuff like that. Now, here's the theme of it all, guys. And I'm tying this into what Rex has told us over and over and over and over and told you guys, because me and Smitty already knew this. But everything that they said pertaining to how they're thinking and where their focus is validates all of Rex's points. If you haven't seen him on the Muttman podcast, oh my
dog. If he does 200, I'm out, man.
If he do 200, dog, I'm ending the show. The show was over. I won't even let him pay more than that. Bro, this is crazy.
Oh, snap, man.
Yo, this dude, Antoine, listen.
He need to get on the show.
You ain't lying. You gonna come on and be a guest panelist as many times as you want.
So sad. Wow. You say you gotta get on. Yeah, you definitely gotta get on, man. Golly.
Shouts out to Antoine, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I want to definitely say this because I see this happen. This is kind of going a little off topic. I see this happen in this generation anyway, like in this society with social media and all of that, and people criticizing it. I could guarantee you there's somebody saying, man, he crazy for doing that. Let me tell you something. Obviously, it ain't really got nothing to do with us. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that you feel like we're entertaining you enough to where you want to do that. But at the end of the day, obviously this man he's capable of doing that. It's nothing to him. So I don't want to see nobody say that because I already know it's coming. That's how people do. They people watch and they comment on everything somebody does. So I'm gonna stop y'all before you even say that. Obviously, my man, it's nothing to him. He can do it. I'm just fortunate, Smitty. We're fortunate for him feeling like that he wants to donate to our cause. The same way I've donated to SteelersDepot.com. I listen to the Terrible Podcast 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand. So salutes to you. And for anybody who's gonna say that, just like tonight, man, let me say this real quick. I'm seeing so many people writing in the chat. And pro tip, guys, if you watch the Madden tournament, cut off the chat. Hide the chat. Because I forget to do that sometimes. And I was reminded tonight why you do it. I see so many people out there talking about problem and oh, he's so fat. Oh, he's ugly. Oh, and I'm like, first of all, why are y'all so invested on commenting on another man for? Who cares?
Oh man.
And I killed them.
Moderate the stuff. So yeah.
And man, I usually don't pat myself on the back, but I think I killed people on Twitter when I said, while y'all sitting there commenting on this man playing a game, making money on it, you're commenting.
Right.
So which person would you rather be? This dude, Problem has made $100,000 at least 3 times that I know of, and he's made more than that. All these little tournaments they're playing, Problem usually walks away with at least 25,000. I'm just saying, when he gets to where he gets to, like tonight, he's playing in the finals at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
He's gonna eat either way. So I'm saying, I just don't understand why people do those kind of things. So that's why I threw that out there about Antoine, man, because I could guarantee you somebody is probably criticizing him for him being generous. And obviously he's capable of doing that. So
man, I've seen cats though, like I've seen people like there's YouTube reaction videos, dudes putting up stacks. Like dudes dropping stacks for support.
Don't you do that, Antoine.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't you do
dropping
that.
stacks for support. So it's like when somebody does that, like dudes lose their mind. They're like, "Are you serious?" Like you'll see somebody put 10 stacks in one drop in the joint.
You know what?
I'm like, yo, that's
something Antoine just said, and we're gonna get back to the game and stuff, guys. I just veered off for a second.
Oh, no, go ahead, man.
So anybody, I see the numbers continue to go up. Anybody coming in here new, we just taking like a quick 30-second thing here. We're gonna get back into the topics. But what Antoine said, and I suggest all of you guys do this as well. He said, man, just respect, and he bless someone else, it comes back. Let me tell y'all something that I do quite often, and y'all should do it because it not only is it a blessing, it makes you feel good too. Go to the drive-thru of somewhere, right? And pay for the car behind you. Don't ask how much it is. Just do it. Don't worry about what it costs. Trust me, you do that a couple times, you can start feeling a little better about yourself. And it's all about paying it forward. I do it all the time, dude. And sometimes most of the time, I don't even wait to see the reaction of the people. It just so happens that sometimes I get caught at the next light in the car that I paid for. And this one lady told me, you don't understand what that just did. The lady told me she was on her last $10 and she needed to eat and put gas in her car. And I paid for her meal, which allowed her to use her whole $10 to put gas in her car. And that kind of stuff, me just doing it on a whim, not even caring about the response, that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So, word of advice, do that every once in a while if you get a chance. But anyway, guys, let's get back to it. So the investors call. The theme of the call was, how do we bring in new customers? And they mainly kept talking about how much revenue that these what's the word, man? Because Rex used it when he came on the show. I know I'm forgetting it. It's subscription based, not subscription based, but whatever MUT is.
Consumer based?
No, it's remember when Rex came on and he asked us like what things they could do to keep CFM, like things that they could keep innovating on throughout the year. Not even innovating, but it's like, what do you call MUT's motto? How they always dropping content. It's a word that they use because they use it on the investors call, but I'm forgetting it, guys. Forgive me, I'm human. I can't remember. But basically, he was saying how these particular games allow this. It allows, continuous updates and you're keeping people coming back. They're even talking about they're going to be doing a competitive battlefield. So FIFA and Madden has kicked it off, right? Basically, no, it wasn't microtransactions. It's nothing like that, man. It's a specific word, and it's not replay value. It's a specific phrase that they use. And Rex, if any of you guys remember when he came on the show that night and asked us about CFM, he used the exact same phrase, and I cannot remember it. But anyway, basically they were talking about how Ultimate Team allows this to happen and how they've seen so much growth and how they've brought in new players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the theme of it was how you could keep people invested in the game over time and bring in new customers. Now, their motto is basically Ultimate Team does that. They were very adamant by they continued to say that even when the investors were asking them questions, they kept coming back to Ultimate Team across their platforms is what's bringing people in. Do y'all remember what Rex said? Remember when he says he doesn't agree with that model? He feels like you focus on the core and give your core audience as much as they want to keep them playing. And he feels like when you build it out from the core, that is what continues to, live service. That's what it is.
Okay.
Epic.184, shouts out to him. He said live content updates, and that jarred my memory. Live service. That's what they were saying. So it just goes to show you that when we tell y'all the internal battles that they face, it's real. And if you don't believe us, you heard Rex say it, and go listen to the call. That's all they're focused on. Now, I had a private conversation with Rex earlier today, and I'm not going to reveal what we talked about, but I'll give you the sentiment because I don't know if Rex wants me to say this because, again, guys, you got to respect the relationship. But we basically were talking about the call. And the sentiment of it was, that's what they believe. You know, I wish I could give y'all the nitty and gritty, and, you know, maybe I'll share it with Smitty, you know, but I can't tell you guys that because no disrespect, but people a lot of times take what you say and they run right to Twitter with it. I can't afford y'all doing that. So he basically was the same sentiment, was like, this is what they believe. He believes something else. However, he still believes that that's starting to turn, where they're starting to get more people at the top believe in building out the product. Now, here's the challenge. Us here in the Madden community, we always, I always see you guys saying that, oh, it's mud, all it, but it's not just Madden. Because if you're going to go with that argument, then why is it that FIFA is so good? And why is it that Battlefield is so good? Like, why wouldn't they chump those games as well if they're just trying to get your money? Because, again, FIFA makes way more money than Madden does.
Yeah.
But Madden and FIFA's Ultimate Team is kicking you know what. Listen to those numbers. I mean, it generates so much money, y'all. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And at the end of the day, it's a business. Like, I'm not mad at see, unlike some of you guys, and I'm not pointing fingers. I just and hope nobody takes it personal. I always say we, us, you guys, not. I'm just talking about the community as a whole. Some people seem to think that they're not supposed to think that way. They're a business with investors like Goldman Sachs and these type of people, the Morgan Stanley. I'm listening to on the call. I'm like, what? They're in the business of making money. The investors want to know, what about that dough though? That's what we want to know. Right, what about that bread? So we have to get away from attacking the devs and approaching our feedback from a standpoint like we're going to convince investors not to make money. That ain't going to happen. We can say all we want to say, but Ultimate Team ain't going nowhere. Of course, they're going to try to get microtransactions, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is the point I wanted to get to, and I know I just said a lot there, so hopefully I'm not losing anybody. This is what we got to think about, Smitty. Rex asked us, what type of things would you like to see in CFM that could be live service based? Now, why am I bringing that up? Because I think everybody has it wrong, Smitty, when they say that CFM needs to be monetized. I think everybody, those who think like that, y'all are thinking where it's a forced to play type situation. And that's what Smitty and I is disagreeing with. It shouldn't be where you're forced to pay this and forced to pay that in order to prove your franchise modes and all of that, because other games are doing it. But I'm not opposed to them creating a MUT type model for CFM where you can either pay for it or you don't. Because obviously, if Rex asks that question and you match what he says to the investors call, it's about the money. And listen, I can't tell them how to run their business. All I'm saying is don't make it mandatory. And see, I think the argument, Smitty, that we have with other people is they feel like, oh, nothing's going to change until they can monetize. No. Y'all are just putting a blanket over. We're not saying, oh, they got to monetize. They do not have to monetize CFM in order to improve it. You're never going to get me to believe that, because once again, they have games in their own company that have more depth than Madden, and it's not like they're charging you for it. But clearly, Rex told us the blueprint. They're looking at live service. If you want to introduce monetization in CFM that way, I don't have a problem with that, because then that's still a choice. I just bet not ever have to cut CFM on, and you're telling me I have to pay to play. That's when I would have a problem with it. And that's the part that Smitty and I oppose. No, we're not going to accept that. But I said all of that to say this, guys, is we need you guys to start listening to what's going on, man. Whether you hear it from us or listen to Rex or listen to the investors call and read articles, all of the information is out there. We don't have to play these guessing games no more. It's clear that the investors and the Andrew Wilsons of the world are all about bringing in new customers. It's clear that Rex's approach and how he feel to bring in new customers would work is opposite of what they think. And it's clear that that is the internal battle that they're having. So where does that leave all of us? All we can do is continue to be as loud as possible to make that narrative, try to get that narrative to change, and give these guys feedback based on the things we would like to see in the game. Because regardless of where the funds are allocated, they always have things that they can work on for gameplay and for CFM. So that's all we could do, man, is fight for what we want and hope that these guys can produce some of these things with the resources they have or they're allowed to have to develop these things. So that's all I'm saying, man. Smitty, what's your thoughts on that? I don't know if you had a chance to hear it, man, but it was heavily focused on what the Ultimate Teams are doing, the live services, and them feeling like that's the way to bring in new customers.
Well, I mean, like you said, we don't agree with that by, oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Dang it, man. I'm up here watching the Pistons game on my phone, y'all. I'm sorry. Drummond did some nice moves, but he didn't finish. But
your boy Blake playing tonight, right?
Yeah, he playing tonight. He got like 22 so far.
You know what? I don't want you to get off your point, but I meant to ask you how you felt about that. How did we forget that at the beginning of the call, Smith? I mean, beginning of the show.
The trade. I mean, I think, just saying it, just being real quick with it. I don't essentially like the trade because we essentially gave up our draft pick, and we got a good draft class this year in this upcoming draft, and it's like we're gonna miss out on that. So essentially, Blake Griffin is our draft choice. So it's like we got a number one. Hopefully he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, and once again, Stan has to have a game plan. If you ain't got no game plan, it's not gonna matter what kind of talent you got, to be brutally honest. You gotta have a legitimate game plan, though. You know what I mean? You have a legit game plan, him and AD can do some damage. you know, and the rest of the team can do some stuff too. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys could do, because we essentially, like I said, our 2018 draft pick is Blake Griffin. That's it. So we don't have anything else to get. Even though we got like a $7 million trade exception or whatever, or something like that, they have said, which is cool, but there isn't anything else really to do in that regard. And I just hopefully for this latter part of the season, we'll see what these guys do. And we'll hopefully, you know, they start to form an identity. And I mean, all they're really doing is making a move to get into the playoffs. And that's really it at this point. Hey, sweetie. So that's all that I see them doing at this point. But I said that's the only way we'll get a superstar. Well, like I said, I could have a whole big time discussion on that one, but I'm gonna leave that be. I ain't gonna do it on this show here. I'll just say this though: you can't develop a young guy when you draft him and you got him on the bench all the time, or you play him sparingly. I have yet to see a rookie actually come up that way. Darko didn't come up that way. These other rookies didn't come up that way. They're all playing, and they're logging major minutes. Just saying. So that's the stuff you got to do. And at the same time, you got to use your drafted players and play to the strengths that they have that you drafted them off of. Kind of got to do that. Just saying. So all makes a difference. But back to this point about Madden and this invested, you know, just like what I said last week, what Smooth was talking about, this goes right to that point. All those authentic aspects. Yes. How can we get more people by showcasing these modes and stuff like that? You know, these Madden tournaments are going to do it. Of course, even though, yes, you got the offline players. And the thing is, it said there's a lot more statistically from the metadata. There's a lot more offline players that are playing against CPU versus people that are playing head to head. So from that standpoint, and also the whole eSport perspective, because they want this game to be better accepted on the eSport stage. Just like what I was saying on last week's show. Said that EA, the more realistic they make the game, the more they tailor this game to realism and authenticity in terms of what happens in football, the stuff that you hear me, Sim, AZ, guys in the chat all talk about, that's what's going to get the game to that point. Bottom line, that's what's going to get the game there. You got to get the player movements got to be tight. The individual animations got to be tight. All of that stuff. It all has to be done in order to get the game to that point. And see this is one thing I'm going to say. This is part of the issue, though. See, I talked about it on this show. I'm the main person that says it a lot. I say it a lot on this show here. But the main problem here is that let me push this door up. Is that when it comes to making Madden that authentic title, even though Rex says, yo, when it comes to playing this game, this is what you got to do. This is the way it has to be. People scream, patch, patch, patch. Rex, I can't play the game the same way. I can't do it. Then the game gets watered down. But my man from UFC, people going ham on Operation Sports and all. Oh, the game ain't playing the same way. I'm used to this way. Just like how people do with Madden. But this is what he said. He said in response to somebody else who posted, let me see, I'm pull up the tweet verbatim because he responded. This is Jeff Hauer. He's one of the engineers for gameplay and for EA UFC. And he said this was somebody tweeted and said, why are the head kicks? They're complaining about head kicks. They said, why are the head kicks turning into body kicks in this game? Into body kicks. This game is broken. Okay. Said there was a production. I mean, there was a whole thread talking about it on OS. Just said it was bound to happen. Said when you change the game as drastically as this, not everyone understands the reasons behind some of these things. But the nice thing about using reality as a guide is the knowledgeable fans will advocate for it, and eventually the understanding will spread. Now, why is it that he says this? And then he even talked about tweets. People talked about the AI cheating and all that stuff, and then he broke that stuff down. Why is it that he's doing all this? In the game, UFC is only going up from the base that they set with the first game. They just expanded out. How many times I said expand out, build up, expand out, build up? These guys literally do it. But then when we talk about doing that with Madden, though, it's 3 weeks into the game being people are on their Xbox One trials. Oh, I can't play the game the way I used to, Rex. That's what's happening. So what has to happen is, essentially the proverbial bird has got to be flipped in the sense of like, okay, tough. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to learn football concepts now. You're going to have to actually understand that we're going for realism and authenticity. So all these people that pose that they're like the next great NFL head coach and offensive and defensive coordinator and all that, but then you get exposed in the game, you're going to have to learn how to play. Shoot. Shout out to Brent Fox, man, with the $10 donation, man. Shout out to you, man.
Much appreciated.
Show
some love to him, guys. Show some love.
But no, but that's the problem. Is that yes, okay, look. Like we talked about maybe a week or two ago.
Hold on, Smitty. I want you to comment on this one.
All right.
Look at the last comment from Cap 34. Oh man, guys.
If it was that simple, bro.
This is the part. This is what we be trying to get y'all to understand. Can you do that at your job? Can you go on your job and do that tomorrow?
Right.
Like literally. Can you go in there and do it? Go against the grain, and your boss see what happened. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Smitty. But I want you to comment on that one.
And I mean, look, it's not a diss. It's not this. It's just this is
not at all. Not this.
Just want you to understand something, though, Cap, from what you're saying. That's the mindset that Rex has, but there's an internal battle that he has to fight with, let alone the external battle with people that are online and that complain and come to him and say, oh, but it's so hard. Look, like I said before, true step, okay, just running down the line, true step, passing accuracies, wide out DB interactions, organic knockouts, sack fumbles and strip fumbles. All of these things, realistic, right? All of them have been tuned back. All of them have been dialed back, nerfed, watered down, all that stuff. It has to be put in and it has to build against the grain. People get upset, be mad. This is how it is. See, but like we've said, even in them shows back then, Rex said it on the stream when he first put those whiteout DB interactions in there. He straight up said in there, he's like, you know what? Y'all gonna have to learn to press X. Y'all gonna have to learn to play that receiver instead of play ball. And guess what? The majority of people were doing. They were playing Madden the exact same way they've been playing for over nearly 2 decades. I used to hit Y and triangle all the time to stop the ball, all the time to make my plays, and now you're changing it on me. Oh, you mean they actually changed the game? You mean it wasn't the exact same game that we were all used to playing? OMG. And then you say patch. Oh, what happens when you patch it? It's the same game again. Wow. See, so it's like y'all don't want to play. You say, like, I had somebody tweet me earlier today. Man, they're making it too complex. They got controls in there and all that. I'm like, but every other sports game has complex controls.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me Madden's supposed to just sit back and just be? That's why Madden is behind. Part of the problem is the people, because some of the people and the internal battle. So it's not just, it's not, I'm not saying it's just like the crowd outside. No, it's a crowd outside the building, and there's a crowd inside the building that act just like the crowd outside the building. So that's the battle. But the thing is that Rex has said is that the more and more that he exposes, and he's like, look, they're starting to warm up to that concept of making it more realistic. I'm like, yeah, if you just make Madden a heck of a lot more realistic, but you know, that's how you're going to get more notoriety on that big stage. Along with time, I mean, it's going to take them time, but they're not about to be selling out stadiums and stuff offhand. It's not about to happen just like that. It's going to take them a minute, but you can get to that level though. But you got to make it. You got to step up like my man here with UFC. UFC is not forgiving. You know what I'm saying? UFC 3 is not forgiving at all. Okay, you play that game. Put that, like I said last week. You, to an extent, normal is like playing on Madden. To an extent, you put that sucker on hard. Forget it. We ain't gonna talk about. We ain't gonna talk about pro or legendary. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the stuff that we've always said. Man, I would love to see all those authentic elements just play straight the heck out, just balls to the wall football, putting it on all Madden. That's the way it should be. All Madden simulation. That's the style it should be. But see, the problem is, and like you said, like you brought up the point before, Sim, when it came to the patches, people ain't gonna be with that. What if you actually have to play on arcade mode? Oh, I want to play SimBall like these guys, but you can't handle it. Oh, you got to play arcade mode. So no, I can't be in that column. I gotta be in that big boy stage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna complain to the guy that makes the game, and I'm gonna tell him, water it down for me. Multiply that message by, I don't know, 100-fold. That's what ends up putting us in the same spot. That's why I'm sitting up here saying, give us all the options that are in NHL. Give us the AI sliders and the in-depth sliders and all that. Put all that in Madden so we can tailor the experience ourselves, because you got people that are honestly cupcake and can't handle it. But they'll sit online and they'll come on in the chat in here and they'll say all the stuff that I want it. But then as soon as they get it and they get smacked around a little bit in the game, now they crying and complaining and they want it watered down. Because they're not winning. They're not winning the game the way they personally want to. And they thought that they were just going to play the game the same way, and they get smacked in the face. Oh, no, we can't do that. Remember when Madden 25 came out and on Next Gen, tournaments couldn't be held because of the true step. Oh, no, this game don't play the exact same. No, we can't do this yet. We can't play it that. We can't get down like that yet. That's my point, dude. That's what we've been saying. That's the point we're getting at. That's why when I post my tweets, just so that I don't offend no tournament guys, because dudes get all, some guys get up in arms when I got something to say. So therefore, I say, for the sim crowd, give us the true player movement. Give us the passing accuracies. I got a video coming out tonight. I spoke to Sim about it on the phone. I meant to get it out before, but I couldn't. But I got a video coming out tonight where I'm using FIFA, and I'm piggybacking off of what Sim did in his video about the relative positioning being respected. FIFA shows it. I just did a live commentary. All you got to do, this is the crazy part. It wasn't no setup or nothing. All you got to do is play FIFA for a few minutes. That's all you got to do. And everything you need in Madden, boom, boom, boom. It's right there. It's right freaking there. And they keep stepping the game up every single dang on year with their game. And that's the point we're talking about. Talking about Madden is just a cash grab. Look at FIFA. FIFA sells 14 million copies.
That's where I'm about to go next.
Like, that's what all them dang on units. And then you ain't even talk about Ultimate Team. So that's why I can't buy the notion that but see, you know what though? This is the other thing too. It took FIFA time to get to where they got to. Their physics system was not on tap either. They had to build that all the way out. You know what I'm saying? But the game is in a much better spot for that work. And that's why I'm like, whatever it is that EA can take from FIFA, put into their game. Hopefully, I don't know what they're doing, but all I'm saying is listening to Rex's interviews and saying, hey, we on Frostbite. We're eager to take this. We're eager to take that. I seriously hope there's some stuff taken from FIFA and they could just take it and put it into the game and it can help change the game in a great way. You know what I'm saying? And no, and I ain't gonna say competition does that because look, let me tell you this right now. Pez is selling like maybe 3 million copies, 3-4 million copies. FIFA selling 14 dang on million copies, bro. That ain't competition, fam. That ain't competition. Not when you're selling that many more copies. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole point. But you know, like I said, I went on long enough. I just kind of got caught in the groove with that. But it's just, I'm just saying though, everything I'm saying right now is what will take Madden to a higher level. That's why I said your game is being shown on that level. Look, that juke move that Problem put on my man today, that looks. I'm sorry, no offense, but that looks silly.
Need that player movement.
Yeah, that doesn't look.
Take it away.
Yeah, that look at how that my man does a juke and then it's like he stops in place. My man runs past. Now, see, that's the funny thing. Why is it that the defender runs around with the respective animation? Like he's got that angular going around, running around, like he's got to gather his footsteps and all that stuff. But then my man can just stop on a dime, sit there, ping, take off, and he's in the end zone. I've seen that multiple times in these games in the tournament. That's like a scripted move. Take what's in FIFA, put that in there. That's gone. Now you got real move. You got real movement. You see what I'm saying? And if dude takes a right ankle, that's what I'm talking about. It's in the dang on. It's in FIFA, bruh. There was stuff there's stuff that I played that I did not capture, and I'm like, I wanted to go back on purpose on my video and add that to the video and be like, look at this. This is in FIFA, man, and this is what I'm saying. Put this stuff in Madden, dude. And that game is on a whole different stratosphere. And I'm talking about just the few things we're talking about. Just a few, let alone a whole lot of other stuff that they could do. And this is under your umbrella. This is under your umbrella. Same company. The game that's making you the most bread. So we could kill. So I'm saying this and I'll throw it to Sim. They're making the most money. They got the bigger Ultimate Team base. They got a tournament going. They have tournaments as well. And so that's why I'm saying we could kill the whole notion that, oh, it's a money grab, cash grab, whatever, and all that stuff. No. Okay. And we could definitely dispose the whole notion of somebody coming back and all that. These dudes just inked a freaking deal with ESPN and Disney and all. It's done. Okay. These guys are authentically being broadcasted. It's over. Okay, that's done. This is going to be the game. Okay. So therefore, guys, we just need to just hitch the ride and just say, look, either if we want this game to be as tight as it can be, or try, like we always say, try the game out. If you don't like it, don't mess with it. You got multiple opportunities. You can rent the game. You can play if you got if you got Microsoft, get on EA Access and go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. But that's just That's just facts, bro. That's just facts.
Man, I love the chat section. Shout out to the chat section, man, because I've seen so many things to hit on. So buckle up, man. It may be a few minutes. First, I want to go back to something. Let me find his name here. My man XX Beast Mode said he's basically was referencing NCAA 14. This is somebody who listens. Obviously, he pays attention to what's going on in the community. Do y'all remember when Rex said he still doesn't feel like they've made a game as good as NCAA 14? That was Rex that did that. Rex and them made that game. So for all of you guys that feel like that game was so phenomenal, guess who made it? Rex in the Madden gameplay team. Now, my point in bringing that up is here's the misconception that not everyone, but a lot of people seem to fall in the same trap. And I see it in the comment section all the time. And I got to give credit to Charlemagne the God, for you guys who know who that is. Charlemagne always makes a reference point that I fully believe. He says, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. That is a fact. Let me tell you how that applies with the Madden community. Weekly, we talk about facts, things that are happening in that building. People will believe it for 1 week, and the very next week, they right back to their disbelief or their misconceptions or their opinion that is not true. Let me explain what I'm saying. Like Smitty said, the whole MUT is the reason why the game is not progressing because they're so focused on MUT. That is absolutely not the truth. Let me tell you why. FIFA is excelling. NHL sells fairly decent. All of their games have MUT. Guess what else has MUT? NBA Live. How much is that game selling? And then those who claim that it's only because of the competitive thing, it's because of competitive Madden. Well, guess what? They about to do competitive Battlefield. The point I'm trying to make to you guys is it has nothing to do with Ultimate Team keeping the game from progressing. Because remember, Ultimate Team still has to perform. When these guys play in the tournaments, the game still has to perform like football. There may be little things that we won't call sim that they prefer, like no penalties, et cetera, et cetera. But trust me, the gameplay still has to improve. The game still has to improve in order for people to watch the game. It would not be attractive if the game was complete trash. Now, follow what I'm saying. We all will say that because we want more sim stuff. And what I mean by that is we want the stuff that's there to work. We want the trenches to be based on matchups, physics, mass, body mass, and all of that, relative positioning with DB and wideout interactions, real player movement. So if we threw all of that in Madden right now, in Madden 18, the game would be off the charts. Am I lying? There's no way that the investors are keeping them from doing that purposely. That's the point that everyone's missing. The point with the investors, like Rex has spelled out, is the fact that a lot of these guys don't even know how important this stuff is. That's the internal fight. It's not that they're saying, no, we're not going to give you player movement. No, we're not. That's not the case because they have no problem with making FIFA the best game possible. Now, let me talk about the competition thing, Smitty, because I think some people are misinterpreting what you're saying. Smitty is not sitting here saying that competition has nothing to do with anything. What he's saying is basically it's not going to take. Let me rephrase that. If Madden had competition, then you know what it would be? It would be 2K and NBA Live. You would have a physical thing that you could say, look, hey, bosses, they got this. I think we should get this. People like this. And then it would allow, all right, okay, let's do that. The problem is convincing those people above Rex why stuff needs to be in the game. That is the problem. I can guarantee you these guys, trust me, we've heard some of the conversation. There's nobody in that building telling them you can't do that. It's all based on priority. And the struggle is the dev team has to convince these guys why it's Project X, YZ needs to be in our game. Where meanwhile, they'll say, oh, I don't know. That might not be what we need to do now. Let's do this. Let's do that instead, and we can come back to that. Okay. Y'all always getting on Rex about saying that franchise is okay, but y'all don't listen to what he really says. He's talking about the numbers and the usage. That's what the big bosses look at. They get their little pamphlets or whatever. Let's see. Oh, there 15% more usage. Oh, we're fine there. And then guess what that does to Rex and a John White and somebody is small and on the totem pole like me and Smitty pulling for CFM and Shopmaster. Well, guys, I hear what you're saying, but not these numbers said it's doing well. That's the struggle. So all of this, like, guys, please, man, I want our community needs to be more aware of what's going on. We need to stop blaming it on Mutt. It is not Mutt's fault, because the better gameplay, the better Mutt will be, and the better their competition, the competitive gaming will be. Nobody wants this game to be easy. Nobody on the dev team. Go back and look at this, the innovation that we've had since Madden 25. Think about it. Ain't nobody sitting in that investors meeting talking about DB and wideout interactions, target passing. Think about it. Think about that. If everything was all about let's not innovate, let's make the game suck, I can guarantee you not a competitive person was cool with target passing. Not one. Not one. And I thought a guy like Skimbo was going to end up being nasty with it. Because Skimbo, you know, how I started watching that guy play, I happened to be watching the Madden tournament a couple years ago. And I'm like, yo, this dude, I know, you know, the gameplay looks relatively the same, but this dude makes good reads. Skimbo usually finds the right guy. So in my mind, I was like, yo, he going to be nasty with target passing. Never touched it. That didn't come from the competitive Madden space. None of that. It's a lot of stuff. Think about it, guys. Let's be serious. Let's step back for a minute. A lot of the stuff that we claim that, oh, they get everything. A lot of stuff that's been put in that game, they don't care about that. So you can't say that the devs don't want to make the game. They want to make the game. Now, I'm not defending them. I'm just telling y'all the facts. I have no dog in this race at all. I'm just stating the facts and giving it to you like nobody else will. Let's be real. Right now, ain't nobody really delivering this news like SimStandard. Let's be honest. Because ain't nobody else going to waste the time. Ain't nobody else going to keep dealing with the backlash, which I'll wear that. Smitty will wear that because we just trying to inform y'all. We got to stop using those excuses and saying, oh, that's because that. No. I'm not accepting that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not accepting the fact that, oh, because there's Ultimate Team and all of that, then you don't innovate. No. Do you think that the investors had, you know, that they were interested in trying to implement new zone coverages and all of that? None of that stuff. None of it. So we got to take the blinders off, man, and act like that the game hasn't tried to improve. Is it there yet? No, but let's step back for a minute. The game is not great only because physics and momentum is not always dictating DB and wideout interactions. Physics and body mass and all that does not always dictate the trenches. And physics is not turned on at all in all, you know, situations and dictating outcomes across the field. Player movement isn't great. And I'm trying to think of what else, Smitty. Let's say we don't get a realistic representation of zone and man coverage. Not quite.
Yeah.
Put all that in the game, and any of us arguing about the gameplay. Let's be real. So my point is, we ain't that far away. If we can just focus on what we want, and the list is getting a little bit shorter, they're always going to have development time for gameplay. So now we should start to see some more of these things. And I'm telling you, it's coming. I'm telling you. I can't tell you exactly when or exactly what, but I'm telling you, I promise y'all. I promise y'all in Madden 19 we'll be checking some other stuff off the list. Guaranteed. Only because of past conversations I've had. I can't be specific with y'all right now, but trust me. Now, how is it going to play out? How is it going to be tuned? That's the problem. That's what Smitty's talking about. When the game comes out, what are they going to do to it? How are they going to patch it? How are they going to tune it? How is it going to affect sim? How is it going to affect competitive? That's what I worry about. Because the same group of people that's complaining, most of us in this chat, and here, even us included, we felt pretty good about Madden 17 at launch. We was like, yo, game all right. They still need some stuff to do, but the game is playing all right. And then later on in the year, here comes the stupid stuff again. So that's all I'm saying, man, is it's a misconception. And I can't keep letting you guys think that that's the reason why the game is not improving is because of MUT. No, that would be silly to think that. Because if that was the case, the rest of these games shouldn't be improving. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I know Madden doesn't have direct competition. Well, let me tell you who their competition is, because they might not tell you, but I'll leak this information. It's 2K. It's MLB The Show. Them people in that building say that. I'm telling you right now. Don't think that we need a football game out there for the devs to do their job. Where I will give y'all that, though, is if it was competition, then the money makers and the investors will be a little more, oh, wait a minute. What are they doing? What are they doing over there? They're taking our customer. All right, Smitty, since they think we don't be knowing. Y'all remember Game Day 98? Some of y'all might not remember that. You might have been about 5 years old when that came out. That's fair. We in the 30 club. We in our 30s. We've been here for a little bit. Do y'all remember that when Game Day came in and kick in the door, wave in the 4-4? All you heard is Sony don't hit me no more.
Yeah.
Bruh. And EA was like, yo, yeah, we caught an L. They had to come back. Y'all remember? Well, this is a bad example because y'all, all they're going to do is say, oh, well, EA. Well, hey, 2K5, Madden 05. That was neck and neck.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have seen what would have happened in 2K6 and Madden 06, because then the comp was there. I would have loved to have seen that, but that wasn't EA's fault, people. The NFL decided to go exclusive. I'll give you a more recent one. How many of y'all say that Madden 08 was off to a good start?
Yeah.
What was out there at that time? Do you guys remember what game was out there then?
Yeah, APF.
There you go. So my point is, there's where the competition, I'll give everybody that. Competition may allow those guys to come up off it and be like, okay, maybe you're right, Rex, and this team and that team. But I'm still not going to allow them to walk away with that, because like we've said numerous times before, and we're going to go ahead into the next topic here, Smitty. Go right into it. There ain't no other NFL game coming, man. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
ESPN just inked the dip. Come on, man. We told y'all this. Now, listen, this is nothing that I know for fact. I'm just saying, at this point, other businesses are looking at it and they're like, nah, they too far gone. And look, let me comment on this real quick, Smitty, then I throw it to you. I saw somebody else in the chat say, all they got to do is make a franchise, strong franchise game without the license. That's not going to work, man.
No.
We have to get out of our own heads. Like we're selfish. Us sim guys, we're selfish and we're a little, we're a little bratty because we feel like, oh, everything's supposed to be the way we want it. And I'm part of that too. But we're not looking at the business side of things. We are a small slice of this Madden and video football game pie. There is no company out there that really believes that they're going to compete with Madden football that's on right now on ESPN with a non-licensed game. It's not going to happen. They're not going to make that game just to appease us. Because let me tell you who tried to do it. Let's see if y'all remember this. I ain't even talking about APF. Y'all remember Joe Montana? Nobody never said why that game ended up being what it is, but I know the reason. I'm sure they had all plans to come on console and get in the marketplace and compete, but then they slowly started to realize it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. It's not. Wow. This guy.
You know what, man?
Wow. This guy blesses us again. Twan, don't do it. No. Hey, man. You know what? You say he's a trucker, man. You know what? I have a very, very, very deep part in my heart to truckers, man. Because my cousin, who was like my brother. God bless the dead, man. He was a truck driver, and we experienced a lot of things together. And I don't even want to get into that because I'm still sad about that till this day. And it's been over 15 years. But, he actually, had an accident. And this is the reason, guys, why I tell you guys to go to the doctor and check yourself out. He had a rare condition that was found in African-American men. At any given time, he could cough and he could black out. But he was so passionate about that truck, he said he was not giving it up, and that's what happened. He went off of a ravine. There you have it. So I'm truck drivers always get, it's a sentimental to me, man. So for you saying that, it's a whole different level of respect I have for you now. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. But again, this guy just donating like he has lost his mind. I can't thank you enough, brother. Man, love. And yes,
that man right there.
Definitely got to come on the show one night, man. Listen, I'll sit back and we'll just let you do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about. But yeah, man. Yeah, Smitty. Again, guys, and like Smitty said, when we say these things, it's not a diss. It's not trying to slight anybody. It ain't nothing like that because we're nobody. We just have the opportunity to see it on the other side and relay it. So that's why I'm so passionate about saying, guys, stop going down the wrong road. You're chasing the wrong road. Come over here. You're never going to get it over there because your mind keeps going there, but it's a mirage. I'm telling you, that's not real. It's an illusion. The truth is over here. We're going to tell you the truth. And Rex has even done it himself. That's the crazy thing. I keep telling y'all that man is not lying to y'all. I wish I could share the conversation I had with him today, but I have to honor that. I'm not going to do it because I don't know if he wants that out there. When these guys talk to us, they talk to us in confidence.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when they give their real opinion about stuff. But all I can tell you is that he shared the same sentiment he had when we did the interview. He doesn't believe that the model, that the suits, how they're going about bringing in new people, he doesn't believe in that. So that's what I'm saying, man. All we could do, guys, is be informed because the more we are informed, the more impactful we can be. Keep being loud. Keep asking for stuff because stuff is being worked on. Trust me, it's being worked on. And I can't wait until, we get to that time of the year when stuff starts being revealed, et cetera, et cetera. But trust me, man, we gotta be a strong unit here in this community so we can really look like, we can represent ourselves well. Because I'm telling you, the more and more you say stuff like, oh, they ain't never gonna do that, they don't listen to that. I would much rather all of our voices be marching in unison so as more people asking for what we need. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's easier for Rex gave us a presentation one time when I was there, and he was like, look, man, I show all of this stuff. A list of tweets. This gonna mess y'all up. Some of y'all in here, I've seen y'all names on the thing. A list full of tweets that he shows, and he uses that stuff as support. But if all you doing is basically telling them why they're not gonna listen to you. That's why I don't want y'all to go that route. Be critical, but at least be marching in the same accord. Come on, man. But that's it, man. That's all I got, man. What you think about this ESPN deal, Smitty? Is that the nail in the coffin, man, for the next NFL hopes for another NFL title?
It's been the nail in the coffin for the longest time. You know what I mean? And I mean, the thing is, see, if guys like London and others would pay attention to that, y'all would already understand why we laugh about it and smile about it and all that stuff. It's because it's been shown over and over and over again. Listen, that's like with the NFL is about exclusivity. Like I made a point before, those that tuned in when I was on with Gedden and all them guys or whatever. If you understood the example I had made, the NFL, you're not going to see Apple. When are you going to see a MacBook on the NFL sideline? No, you're not. Are you going to see a team looking at their playbook on an iPad? No, you're not. It's only going to be on a Microsoft Surface tablet, right? Like how they got on the side of the booth thing. You see how it says Microsoft all over it, right? The jerseys. Are you going to see Champion? You're going to see a Champion jersey out there? What about Adidas? Are you going to see them? Are they going to make a Nike jersey? Oh, I want my jersey to be in the Super Bowl. Can they? Oh, I want to make the Color Rush unis. You think Adidas or Rydell, you think any of those companies, you think they don't want in on that? But they can't get in on it. Exclusive. Nike's the exclusive outfitter for those authentic jerseys that they wear. So therefore, that's the NFL that made that decision. Just like they talk about drinks, particular drinks and stuff like that, particular beers and everything. The official sponsored drink of the NFL, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're official for a reason. NFL made that decision. They could lobby, all these companies lobby for it. NFL makes a decision and say, we choose you. We choose this company.
Bose.
We made that decision.
That's a good one. That Bose headphones. That's a perfect example.
Oh. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
And look, even with that, Smitty, how many players did we see before that have custom-made beats?
Yep.
And then the NFL comes in like, nah, you can't wear that.
Yeah. See. See what I'm saying? Exclusivity, bruh. The NFL said, this is what we're doing. This is how it's going to go. And that's it. Hey, 2K, you going to water down our brand like that? All right. EA, you got it. That's it. Yeah, you got it. Oh, we got this show with Maurice Jones-Drew and Scott Cole and everything on NFL Network. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Shutdown City right there. So it's like when you go from that and look at they're showing commercials and promoting, what was it, and last year in the Super Bowl, they're promoting the Madden championship during the Super Bowl. Come on. It's like, dog. Do you know, like, that's to have an ad during that airtime, no matter what point of the game it is, that's nothing but loot right there. That's big. And you throwing that in there too? No, that's exclusive. It's a wrap.
Which Madden was it, Smitty? Real quick, just to speak on that.
Yeah.
That the one to come at me, bro, interview with Hip Hop Gamer, was that Madden 15?
That was Madden
16.
No, 15. 15.
That was a couple years ago.
That was 15.
Exact words. Put the money up, get the license.
Mm-hmm.
Rex won't just saying that. Remember a few years back too, and I think Peter Moore was still there when they kind of changed the verbiage about the license. We no longer really saw exclusive attached to that. Just saying. And that also validates the rumor that I got from my source about 2K possibly. I'm just saying. My man Ray makes a good point in the chat. I just wanted to point that out. It's all about this, man. And what EA has done, if not anything else, they've made sure they've made a comfy relationship with the NFL, to where they don't want to sleep with nobody else. They out the game. They got their ring on. They like, all right, I'm with you, shorty. I don't want nobody else. That's what they did. I give them credit for that. But hey, the NFL has the ball in their court. And EA has done an amazing job taking advantage of it. And for that, I can't knock that. That's business. So
yeah.
If somebody else wants to come back, they got to pay for it. But why would you? When you looking at, I'll give y'all another quick analogy, and I'm going to throw it back to Smitty. Because I know a lot of you guys, y'all know I'm into music, right? It's just like Jay-Z and Tidal. And he explained why it took him so long to even jump into that. Because there's Spotify already. There's Apple Music, a giant in Apple. How many people have Apple Music, and how many people just want that connection? Oh, I have an iPhone. I might as well pay for Apple Music. I'm not going to get Tidal. And that's why Tidal is just now starting to see some profit. It's the same thing. Anybody that want to come back now, they got to look at it and be like, man, we ain't going to catch that. Because as they flip through their channels, they see Madden on ESPN, and they know they ain't getting that. They ain't getting that plug. Come on, man. Use the third eye. You ain't got to use just these ones. Use your third eye. It's not that hard to understand. Look at what's happening out here. I'm just saying. Go ahead. My bad, Smitty.
Oh, no, that's all good. Look. That's why you see 2K making this investment with their league now.
Yeah.
With NBA 2K. And you see what they're doing with that NFL. I mean, not NFL, with the WWE. They're making, they said, okay, we see what's going on. They're sustaining off of NBA 2K.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I mean, just think about that for a moment. 2K, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying like all of 2K is held up by their sports game, but I'm saying at least as far as 2K sports is concerned, I don't know how far as 2K games in general, but I know Take-Two Interactive, that's basically their publisher, I think. Yeah. They're getting bread, yeah. Rockstar, because Take-Two, their 2K's publisher, as well as what's the name? Rockstar. So I mean, yes.
Oh, I just thought of something, Smitty.
They got bread. What up?
By you saying Rockstar, it's 2018.
Yeah.
Red Dead should be coming this year.
Oh no, they said they announced the release date. It's not till October 26th.
This year, though, right?
Yeah, this year.
Oh,
unless they do another pushback, but yeah, it'll be this year.
Oh boy.
So yeah. That's why they pushed. They said there's some things they got to tighten up and polish. That's why they delayed the game. So October 26th, though, it'll be out.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying though is that when you look at what's going on here with 2K, yeah, like Take-Two Interactive, like I said, they got the brick. They're the ones with the bread like that. Now, yes, 2K is getting money through my team and all that stuff and the VCs and everything. And this year, people were exceptionally upset because they basically blocked you. You ain't progressing jack unless you buy VC and all that, which, that's retarded. But nevertheless, these guys, when they have their when you look at earnings, at least when I looked at it in the past, I don't keep up with them like that, but they would talk about how 2K sustained them. Like literally, that game is holding them up in some cases. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna take money and everything else from that, and we're gonna try and get this license and basically operate in the red for numerous years before actually coming up. No, they're not gonna do that. And like you just heard, Sim, I didn't listen to the call yet, but I listened to calls in the past. All that money that they have.
Oh yeah, I mean, let me find that link.
Look, I'm saying this from a very casual outside perspective standpoint. Man, they done made all that money, man. They could let Live make 50 billion mistakes and then keep building. Like, no, they're not going to realistically do that. That's not smart from a business standpoint. But what I'm saying is that they made the money to invest in NBA Live, regardless of the fact they know the return on it. It's going to take them. It's going to take them a minute for them to truly see that return on investment. That's why you see these cats. They didn't drop that game down to like what, $8, $9 a few times over. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like for them to be able to say, we're going to go ahead and drop this price down and we're going to do this and we still going to deliver you guys all these things. That's it. It's like you have your game plan made up, and that's the whole thing. They investigate, they pay attention to what's going on, what are people's hot buttons, what make people buy these particular games, and they see why people aren't buying Live. So they know full well going into building NBA Live, they know it's going to take them years to get legitimately up. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take them time. So they'll build that up accordingly. It's going to take them a minute. And they know that. The whole company knows that. But they're going to keep working at it. They're not quitting. They know what the deal is. But when we look at stuff like Madden and we talk about the come-ups, like I said earlier, we want the come-ups. You know what I mean? And the thing is, Madden has to get to a place where it is hard, where you have to go and practice. I can't play UFC. I can't play UFC 3 the way that I honestly want to play it, as challenging as I want it to be, unless I go and do the practice drills.
Yeah.
I got to do them because otherwise I'll get my tail handed to me so easily. The CPU will eat me alive. You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that. I'm like, bet. That means I got to spend even more time in the lab. I'm cool with that. That's the kind of game that I want to see out of Madden. Listen, there's no point in talking about, how the field is divided and all that fundamental stuff A-Dub talks about. That stuff doesn't mean squat if at the end of the day, the gameplay is going to be watered down over and over and over again. It can't keep being watered down like that. It just can't. It has to be something they got to stand tall on, stand firm on, and it just has to be that way. Seriously. Like we said before, the game we played at EA Play, that was not the same game we was playing. Even now, it's not the same game. Despite the updates, it's not the same game. That's what has to happen with this game. We go down, and when we see the game and we play the game, the stuff we see, like I said, Madden 16, we saw the wideout DB interactions. It looked beautiful. Offensive and defensive play-wise. We saw the balance there. But at the same time, we saw the element of fear there that was there like, yo, this is who you're matched up against. Okay, you may be in for a problem. Think about it if you had the interactions and they never touched it. Even though it had its problems in 16, they never touched it. But then you go to Madden 17 and you have the organic knockouts with the fumbles and all that stuff, and you have that. And then you go from there to what you got in Madden 18 now. Just saying. It would be a much more challenging game we would have on our hands right now if that were the case. And, oh, by the way, yes, and you had the true step in there. Players didn't feel all floaty and everything. If you had all that in there, Madden would be in a much better position than it is right now. It would be flat out. So that's the main thing at the end of the day, man. It's like I want to see. I'm glad they put in simulation mode. I'm glad they did that, but I want to see the core gameplay take the same approach. Even if elements of gameplay aren't fully flushed out, do like NBA 2K. They still build it up anyways. Even with whatever falls flat. They still build it up anyways. They still put it in going forward. Like I brought up in last week's show, 2K13, you couldn't block shots. You had two badges, signature skill badges called Eraser and Chase Down Artist, and you couldn't block dunks at all in that game. Yet they put it in there because it's part of the system. And then what did they do? They kept building upon it. And you saw it in the 2K14 trailer. You got LeBron swatting dunks and all that jazz in it to show you, hey, guys, we jacked up, but we got y'all. We got y'all back. That's what it has to be like that with Madden. You gotta innovate through adversity. And then when people try to come at you for that adversity, I would love to see Rex sit up there and watch a football game on Sunday. Watch how many times and what instances you see the DB play the ball versus when they play the receiver. And you tell me that you're playing exactly like that in Madden and prove it. I want to see the streams. That's what I would come with. I would love to see that. I'm like, prove it. I don't want you to send me one clip, play, oh, this guy's making a play. No, show me the game. Because because this is one point, and I'll throw this in a clip, to say what you want to say. But if you look at Madden 16, I looked at the worst rated wide receiver and the best rated defensive back. Darrelle Revis was the best rated DB in the game. His catch rating was 72. I think that was his spec catch rating, if I'm not mistaken. He had like a 73 catch rating, I think it was. Yeah, 72. Because I wrote it down the other day. No, yeah, 72 catch, 55 spec catch, 50 catch in traffic. Yet he's the highest rated DB. Him and Richard Sherman. Now Richard Sherman is better with catch because he's a former wide receiver, so he had a higher catch rating. But then the worst receiver in the game, Shane Wynn, 5'7", 54 overall wide receiver with the 70 catch, 69 catch in traffic, and 63 spec catch. So if the best DB in the game has 74 spec catch, it's a 55 for a spec catch, and a lot of those defensive backs you have in the game have that kind of catch rating between 50 and 60s, maybe 70 or a little bit above that. Few guys that have an 80 here and there. What do you expect? You're expecting to catch the ball? You're wondering why you got mossed? Well, it's easy. How did you play? Were you playing the ball or the receiver? And then also relative to that play, what was your position? All of that stuff, those are the kind of things that were starting to make a difference in Madden. But it all went out the window because of how people felt. And the game changed.
Yep. So,
but I'll throw it to you, Sim.
It's simple, man, and we can go ahead and close the show out on this, man. And Stack, I sent you an invite, man, about a half hour ago. I don't know what happened. You never got in, but we'll have to get you the next week, man, because we're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. But the thing I want you guys to hang on, man, as we end the show, is again, go back from Madden 25 through now. 18, we could kind of say that's 17 and a half because we knew the transition to Frostbite, et cetera, et cetera. But look at all of the gameplay features or things that were implemented that I can promise you it's not like the investors told them to do that. But you will see at least one thing. Remember what Rex said. There's always, marketing and all of them. There's always, what can we sell? How can we draw people in? That's their motivation. But what we can control is the time allocation that they do have for gameplay and CFM. We can control our narrative as far as, hey, guys, I really would like to see y'all target this. Because, like I said, Madden 19 is going to have gameplay focus. They're going to have online focus. They're going to have MUT focus. They're going to have, I'm sure, some CFM focus. That's what our community, what we need to control is what we get in gameplay and CFM. We can't control the allocation of resources that comes from the investors. And we can't control what back of the box thing that the marketing team is going to try to implement, which could take away from some development time. That's all I want you guys to focus on, man, is stop making yourself believe it's because of MUT. It's not. It's as simple as Rex and them have to convince some of these people why this needs to be in the game. They're not all football people. That is a fact. And you even started to see a little change when football people start getting in higher positions, i.e. Cam Weber. Then we started seeing a little more football stuff. I mean, Smitty remembers we stood right beside Cam Weber at E3 the first year we went, and we was like, hey, man, we got to get, you played quarterback. You know how important DB and wideout interactions are. Then lo and behold, here it comes. This is what we're saying. Is stop blaming the competitive crowd, because, again, this is how we need to focus on it. Competitive is a setting. Competitive shouldn't have anything to do with the way the game is built, because you just can't do that. That's a setting. Like, things that should be in the competitive space, and I'm not trying to speak for them, but maybe they don't want penalties in the tournament. Maybe they want to play on a certain game speed, or maybe they don't want things left to chance. That's cool. You're playing for money, but my focus is, as long as the game is being built based on football, I am cool with it. Which means the player movement and all these type of things and interactions between players like you see in FIFA, that stuff should make its way in the game regardless. And even the investors say, oh, by the way, guess who was the ones who wanted Frostbite? Right away. Those were the moneymakers, the movers and the shakers, the investors. These people were the ones that was like in the big wigs. I can say that now, was like, oh, we got to get there. But it was for a different reason. I was at EA Play, and I'm not going to say the name, but I'm standing there with a dev, and he's like, yo, that's the reason why we go into Frostbite so quick. This is before y'all knew Frostbite was coming. We already knew. I was like, what? You said right there. It's the Battlefield 1 trailer. He was like, yo, we got to get that game to look like that now. Like right now. Next thing you know, boom, here they go. Coming to Frostbite. The investors do they call months in advance, telling you that it's going to debut. And it's easy, guys, to connect the dots. If you just pay attention, it's easy to see what's going on. Listening to them and listening to Rex and listening to us, there is no way that you should be lost in the sauce when it comes to what's happening with Madden for real. And if you want to know, some of you guys who are newer to us, Smitty, myself, and Azure, we're always going to speak to you guys from a community standpoint. When Madden 19 kicks into gear, and I'm talking about when information comes out, we're going to be always taking the position, all right, guys, this is what we got on our stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's work with what we can control. We can control our own narrative in terms of what they work on with their allotted time. We can't control what things the suits are going to allow the devs to build on. Because I can promise you, there's stuff that should have already been in the game. There's stuff that should have been in Madden 18 that was supposed to be there, and it didn't make it because Frostbite and other stuff was the priority. I'm hoping those things appear in 19, and I have a gut feeling that they will. That's why I can't really say too much, because I'm technically NDA'd on that because I already saw it. You know what I'm saying, Smitty? Like for Madden 18, but I don't know if it's coming in 19, so that's why I kind of got to chill on that. But because we're not NDA yet for 19, guys. But basically, our NDA goes beyond the current year. But technically, we're not NDA'd under what we know is coming in 19 because we haven't actually seen the full plan yet. But I have a strong feeling that these things that I speak of in my mind that I can't share just yet is going to be in 19. And trust me, it's going to be things that you guys are going to appreciate. So we'll see. Hopefully that's the case. I hope the day comes and I'll be able to say, remember what I told you guys on February 1st? There it is. And there's that one. There goes that one also. I hope I'm saying that by the time news starts circulating. But that's it, man. This was a great show. A lot of participation tonight, man. Huge crowd. We appreciate it, guys. That's it, man. We don't have anything else. We'll be back next week, and we'll find something else to talk about. No, not Frostbite. I mean, Fight Night, not Fight Night. I wish it was, but not just yet. Not just yet. I did hear some rumblings of maybe it will return, but it very, 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 very quiet rumblings. You know, I don't think that would be any time in the near future, but I'll be the first one to let you know. Oh, happy birthday to Smooth, man. Everybody say happy birthday to him. He says he's turning the big 4-0 tomorrow. Wow.
Okay.
Enjoy it, man.
Birthday, man.
Happy birthday. That's a milestone, man. Don't be afraid of getting older. There's only one other alternative, you know. That's what my brother told me when I turned 30. He said, hey, there's only one other alternative if you don't want to be 30. So embrace it, man. You know, age is what you make it. You're as young as you want to be or as old as you want to feel. So there you have it, man. We appreciate y'all. We're going to get out of here, and that's about it. All right, we'll holler at you guys next week. Y'all be good, and let's watch the Super Bowl, and maybe we'll get our wish and the Patriots will lose. But all right, guys. Catch y'all later, man. Peace.
Peace.